What is good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Foxy. Welcome back to the Fox's Den. Getting into another reaction. We are getting into the newest episode of Heavenly Delusion, episode 9, Children of the Nursery. So I'm assuming we're going to get a little bit more of a focus on the Heaven Place, and this time I'm 100% sure the past timeline. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty much 99.9% sure that there is two separate timelines. The present timeline with Maru and Haruki, and the past timeline where we see these children at this Heaven Place and the director and these robots and AI and stuff. Pretty much completely sure now that that is the case. Two separate timelines. Whereas before, you know, I was leaning more on, not really leaning more on it being one timeline, but more, I didn't have enough info, or we hadn't learned enough info within the story yet to really convince me that there was two separate timelines. But after last episode, I am pretty much completely convinced, because last episode was an emotional masterpiece, and it was very, very, very intriguing. Not only do we have this internal conflict that's going on with this group that hired Haruki and Maru first to be able to take out this man-eater in the basement, which would, you know, I think I can't remember what the initial goal of that was, but basically what really allowed them to do anything with that is that since it's gone, now they had the confidence and the drive, or even just the capability of actually taking over this place. So that's really what they were trying to get at, is that they wanted to take over this place, this area, this whole location, and this building in general, to have this, to succeed their own goals and, you know, progress their own agenda of creating their own utopia, in a sense. Not utopia, but just their own, like, kind of I guess city, or like little government, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, as that bald guy was saying at the end, after he threw his jacket off the building, you know, forget all these little baby factions. Like, we're gonna, you know, he seems really motivated and like a strong sense of what he wanted to accomplish with this group of people. And it seems like, you know, they were kind of taking like a more tyrannical or I guess violent approach, because after the, you know, they were swindling so many things. Like, for example, the leader, right? She apparently died. She ain't fucking dead, bro. There's no way she died from that fall on her head. So they either are shutting her up and he's taking over forcefully, or she's just alive and she's gonna stay alive in the shadows and still be a part of like this inner group of people that lead this group of people. That's what I'm thinking, at least. Or he very well could just forcefully taken over and just, you know, lied to everybody and made sure everybody was on the same page because he has blackmail on them, or he has the capability of taking them out if he wants to. I don't know. But that's pretty much what the real goal of that group was. And then, sure enough, we actually see Haruki and Maru meet Dr. Usami. Then he eventually introduces them to this girl that is in terrible shape. And this is what, you know, the leader of that group saw. You know, she called it the machine. And how it was saying, let me die. But really, you can't hear anything from it. Maybe you could at one point when she wasn't as in a bad of shape, because she's gotten worse and worse and worse over time while he's been trying to figure out some sort of cure or something for this disease. Or even after at one point, because now at this late point, like, there's definitely no cure for it. You know, she's too far gone. So that then at that point, his whole goal was like, okay, can I help her die as a human? Which is, I mean, just extremely thoughtful. Like, even whenever you know there's no hope in curing the disease and saving the person, and you're still at least thinking about how they can die peacefully, I mean, that shows how much he loved her. And, you know, Maru and Haruki actually ended up helping them out. Maru is capable of taking her out with his power, which goes to show that he's able to take. It's not just man-eaters. It's basically, well, maybe it's just kind of showing us now, like, with that info that we gained. You know, because apparently that disease, if you die naturally with that disease, you will turn into a man-eater. That's apparently the case. So maybe that girl from the hotel has the disease that tried to seduce Maru, because he was able to enter her body with that, you know, Maru touch power. So maybe she has a disease. That's possible, and she just doesn't realize it yet. You know, it's in its early stages. Like, it's not physically showing yet. Same thing with the girl that took Maru in. Maybe that girl that took Maru in, since she was kind of older, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she's from that Heaven Place, and that's why she started this whole thing, like, take Maru to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe he's super special in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe this power is like one of the real like successes on what they were trying to accomplish out of this place. Like who knows, bro? But this is what, like, see, this is what I'm talking about with this show. This is why this show is so good and I'm loving it a lot, especially after the last episode. Is like the more you learn is like the closer you get to an answer, but also it just opens even more avenues for brainstorming and possibilities. Like it's like never ending at this point. So like we got the confirmation, like for me, for example, got the confirmation that there's 2 separate timelines, but now there's even more avenues. Okay, how did this disease start? Is the disease actually the start of creating man-eaters? Because if that's the case, what's the deal with the man-eater babies? I thought the man-eater babies start like that and then they grow up to look like these humans, which are these young kids in this place, and then they either grow up with a special ability, don't succumb to the disease, and have the special power, or they turn into a man-eater. So which one is the start? Is it the disease that starts it, or are these kids really those man-eater babies? I don't fucking know. You know, there's still a lot to be answered, and that's what I'm talking about. Like you learn more, and you're like, damn, I'm really satisfied with this knowledge, and it's leading me to a closer answer on like a concrete idea of what's happening, but it also opens up even more discussion, which is just, I love it. It's fucking amazing. Back on track to the episode, he's able to take her out, which she finally agrees to, but she wanted to see the sky one last time. They were able to do that for her. She passes, and her last words was just thanking Dr. Usami, and he breaks down crying. I mean, it was a very emotional moment. It was beautiful. And then basically, the people that were there, Dr. Usami shows them the settlement on a map. Like, okay, go there, you know, lead the people there. Y'all be good. I'm gonna go bury her. I'm gonna have my last moments with her, and then I'll meet up with y'all there. And then also, Haruki and Maru were waiting for him, but also trying to gain some information before the people left. Haruki actually gains a lead on Robin, who is apparently a doctor. You know, they know him as Dr. Inazaki, who apparently learned under Dr. Usami, which is also very interesting, and it at least confirms that he was at least alive 2 years ago. So he should still be alive, but that is at least better info than nothing. And then sure enough, we get back up to the rooftop where he's having his last moments. Dr. Usami's having his last moments with the girl and just holding her and reflecting, and, you know, all of a sudden he points the gun to his own head and he pulls the trigger. And that was really powerful in itself too, because it really caught me off guard. I was in the middle of discussing something, and the way that they animated it, like it didn't like click right away for me that what he was about to do until he literally had the gun to his head, and I was like, oh fuck, oh shit, like nah, like that was really powerful. And then he actually goes through with it, and that's where pretty much the episode ends. And Maru starts to think like, I'm nothing like Dr. Usami, I'm nothing like Robin, like all my hands do is bring death, which in a literal sense it kind of does, because his power takes out man-eaters and takes out people that have that disease, which it's all linked to the same thing in some sort of way. We just don't know exactly what yet. And so like he's kind of having a battle with himself, like, what is my purpose? Like why do I have this power if I'm only like killing things? You know what I'm saying? So it's really fucking with him now. And Haruki comforts him as best as possible, and that's where kind of like the episode ends. The credits start rolling, and then we get an end credit scene that's what completely flipped my perspective on the timeline thing, because we see Mimihime in this dark cave. Someone reaches out to her. We don't see the face of the person, but she feels instantly comforted, and there's like a light shining, because this is a dream. So like she's stuck in a dark cave, and all of a sudden someone reaches out, someone comforting, someone she feels she can trust, and she feels immediately comforted and safe, and thanks him for everything, which the girl that just died in the present timeline thanked him for everything. So it's very odd timing. That's where I came up with this theory that I think some other people that I've watched, I don't know if they've actually clicked on it yet, like the reactors themselves, but I've been seeing some discussion in a lot of the comment sections of, you know, people watching this episode after I watched it, that some people are on the same track as that. But who knows if like there could be a twist to it, like, and we might not be exactly right, but I'm pretty goddamn confident that girl was Miyuhime. And then who knows if Dr. Usami actually was that mob kid that obviously we've gotten an idea that he likes Mimihime because he got that nude photo from her, but apparently she didn't actually send it herself. So like there's still like so much to uncover, but like that is one of the biggest pieces that like flipped my perspective on the timeline thing, and it's like definitely two separate now. And that is just a crazy twist because I'm pretty confident that that girl that, you know, Maru helped pass on as a human, pretty sure that was Mimihime. And Dr. Usami, I'm not too confident on who that was yet because we didn't see the face of the person that she saw in her dream. But if I had to guess, it might be the mob kid because we already know the mob kid really likes her and was also already kind of coming out to her about his feelings for her and like he was like very open about what he was feeling about with her, like, you know, and what he wanted to get out of her and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? He was very open with the communication and that. So that's why I'm thinking that Dr. Usami might be that mob kid, but it could be somebody else. Like maybe she ends up falling in love with somebody else down the road. Like who knows? But yeah, that was an amazing episode, and that just goes to show like how good this show is. And we're already 11 minutes into the video, so that's enough for the pre-episode discussion. But there's so much to cover. There's so much to cover with this show. Like, so I'm talking about, there's so many avenues of brainstorming and discussion. Like, it's just lovely. But without further ado, let's get into this episode. Let's see what more we learn, where else we go from here, and continue down this road because I'm loving it. So if you guys enjoy it, please leave a like down below, comment, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell so you know when the next one's dropping. Let's get into it. Heavenly Delusion, episode 9. Okay. Opening from the get-go. We're getting straight to some content after this. I'm ready. I'm already seeing a lot of green. Kona is talking. Back to the heaven place. This is ASURA. Was this when she was still alive? Like, did she always look like that? Okay, all the kids seem to be aware of ASURA. So ASURA always looked like this. Looks very different compared to all the other kids. Very special properties as well. Healed that cut like it was nothing. Seems ASURA is very trustworthy for all the other kids in this place. Yeah, so this is a flashback because Kona definitely looks a little bit younger. Oh wow, so wait, that right there, the camera was actually picking up what it was supposed to pick up. Because you saw Kota get up out of bed, or Kona. But ASURA wasn't on the camera. Wait, this is his power? So this is what led him to the balcony. And this is how he saw what he saw. What the fuck? Those eyes. But they're like wings? She's actually hanging herself? Oh my god! And actually just dropped straight down. Oh! She saved him? But she just hung herself. So this is what he was talking about whenever him and Tokyo met up, and he said it's a different type of love. That's Mimihime on the right, so I'm assuming that's Tokyo on the left. She used to have a little bit longer hair. Yeah. Okay, hold on. We just noticed that logo that is on that gun that Haruki has is on their clothing. So that logo is definitely from this place.
That's great.
English. So this is a facility in Japan, but it's a worldwide research or experimentation. Yep. Yeah, unfortunate. What the fuck? That sounds way bigger than anything we have ever dealt with before. Or is this actually just an earthquake? Yeah, but people are probably thinking of the same thing, so you're gonna have to be careful. Yeah. What the f- Bro, you can't be doing that shit, dude.
おい、大丈夫かよ。
何をそんなにビビってんだ。
だって見た感じ盗賊の方でしょう。
誰が盗賊だ。
お前の方がよっぽど盗賊臭いわ。
調べてもらえてよかったです。
So whenever
健康には何も問題ないから安心して。
whenever people were the people from wherever America or whatever that spoke English were touring the facility, that's back to the present heaven, you know, this Tokyo and this Mimihime. The one where Asura is not here and also Taro already passed away. His eyes are gray though. Aren't his eyes gray? They don't look like that blue, like that, because there was a very distinct blue color eye that he gave that girl, which I think is Mimihime. Her eyes are kind of blue, but it wasn't the same blue. Plus, she lost both of them. She can still see Asura? Okay. Wait, why? And this person that's pushing the, didn't she just say that everything seems to be fine with her? Bro, what the fuck is going? This is what I'm talking about. It's never ending. It's never ending. It's never ending, bro. This is so intriguing.
この人物とこのマーク。あと天国って言葉に何か心当たりがあれば頼むよ。
ちょっとお待ちよ。車を止め直すので下がってください。
Bro, he's literally just dipping.
さあ、これでゆっくり話ができる。
Wait, what? What was the purpose of that?
さっきのマークのことですが、知ってるかもしれません。
え、本当？
ただ、思い出すのにちょっと時間がかかるかもしれません。
So it might be difficult.
僕は情報を語ることを生業にしておりまして。
Okay, but how credible is this information, though?
思い出すでしょう。皆さんこんばんは。今宵もやってまいりました。
Turning this real dramatic for this story.
本当にあったかもしれない話。私11がお届けします。
昼だけどな。
根強いのがこの3つです。
Asteroid impact, alien invasion.
衝突説ですが、大災害の前、地球に接近してきた惑星が発見され、一部の人が騒いでいたそうです。例の人食い生命体。あれが宇宙から来たとの見方があります。
Okay.
また大災害の前に空飛ぶ謎の
That shadow is Asura.
目撃されています。こうして当時の貴重な画像も入手しました。
鳥。
No, yes, it looks like
大
wings.
災害の前に日本のどこかが何者かのテロ攻撃を受けたとの噂があり、そこから戦争に発展し、何らかの特殊兵器が使用されたという説です。いかがだったでしょうか。
実話怪談壁の町ってやつやってくれ。
ありがとうございます。それでは今宵も始めましょう。
This guy.
これは私の
So trolly, bro. He's alright. Yeah, it might come back to me. Another 1,000 yen will do.
囲まれた学校に閉じ込められていたんです。
以前から検討していた副園長の件ですが、青島さんにお願いしようと思います。
Guy with the glasses doesn't seem too happy about that. He seems a little jealous.
ちょっと待ってください。渡先生は次期園長最有力と思われてたんだ。そりゃ穏やかじゃないわな。竹内女子も。
その町は
There was
女性
competition.
によって支配された町でした。もし男が間違って近づけば殺されます。ただし
Okay.
ごく稀に 顔や健康状態などが気に入られると町に監禁され種豚と呼ばれ飼われます。種豚の役目は雑用と女性への精子の提供です。
Okay.
僕はある時期一組のカップルからよく指名されました。男の子が生まれたら母親から取り上げられ種豚として我々が育てます。
Bro.
生まれたのは男の子で
I
した。
don't know. This seems kind of
半
far-fetched.
年ほど経ったある夜、その二人が画策し僕を含め赤ちゃんと4人で町を脱走します。の中にはこんな恐ろしい町があるとかないとか。それではまた別の話でお会いしましょう。
So let's meet again. Yeah,
Bye bye.
see you, but like if that was actually happened, it would seem like he'd actually be
わか
traumatic.
りません。
胸クソ話じゃ
Like
ね
he'd
えか
actually feel like terrible about that. He didn't. He seems like he just seems like he's telling a story each time, like an actual fictional story.
な
Yep. Okay, yeah, that story's fake. Sure enough.
とっさに車を動かす必要があったんだよ。隠したいものが目に留まったとかな。
Oh wow. Takahara
高校生の
Academy.
マーク
危うくあいつのホラ話で延々時間と金をむしられるところだった。
So they could have just found the information themselves, yeah. So they almost wasted all their money. He was just trying to make a bag, bro. But this is an actual clue. Takahara Academy, that sounds pretty legit. Because this place was kind of like a school for like these kids. But it was more of an experimentation place.
あの箱だ。
いやすごいわ便利屋
What?
キル光線のマークは見つかったけどここが天国かと言ったらただのビルというか
学園長挨拶。
Welcome
高原学
message.
園には心と体を休ませられる空間があり、ただ趣味に没頭できる時間があり、疲れたと漏らせば聞いてくれる人がいて。
Hell of
裁判
patience?
前の感覚がもう一つよくわからんが。
こっち
That's a drawing of ASURA.
でもこれはここのマークを真似た落書きっぽいね。盗賊でも
Bro, Asura has a lot to do with this in some way. She might be like
じゃない気がするな
the reason for a lot of this stuff and
銃についてたマークをたどって
like a leader in a way or something.
したけどそもそも俺の
Mimi
目
Hime
的
is
地
the
と
only
銃
one that can see her.
何の関係もない
She hung herself, but she also saved Kona at the same time. There's a reason why she did
高
that.
原学園ってのは大災害の前
She was
個人
definitely
技のも
special
のだったらしい。
just by her
しかも
looks
その
and
案内
the
の中で
special abilities that she
世の中
had.
のことを我慢地獄と書いてる。地獄の反対は丸く
And she didn't show up on the cameras, even though the camera was actually showing Kona getting out of bed. And then all of a sudden they went dark. And then after she died, what if she's like part of the AI now?
学園は2施設と18分室。
Somehow.
分室っていうのはここと似たようなものだろう。別のところを探そう。ここはなんだか気味が悪い。
Yeah, for real. I would not stay there.
それでは本題に入ります。時雄くんの妊娠が発覚しました。
Tokyo's pregnant?
あの若さでなんて。
性の概念も男女の区別さえ教えず育てたのにこの土壇場でこれは高原学園を揺るがす緊急事態です。
So this all falls onto her having a kid somehow. Like this maybe her having the kid is what the great disaster is, bro. Dude, I can't deal with this episode ending, bro. Like I just need more, man. Like I can't do episode by episode no more, bro. Like this shit is getting crazy, bro. Like I said, the more you learn, the more avenues of discussion and brainstorming occur or open up. It's fucking ridiculous. God, this show is so good, bro. So that's why she went away. That's why the robot that was in front of the class, like, oh, Tokyo's not here yet, like the students noticed. And the robot informed them, you guys might not be seeing Tokyo for a while. And that's why. So the assistant director, or whoever just got promoted to assistant director, you know, the girl, I can't remember her name right now. She reassured Tokyo that everything was okay, so she doesn't seem to be sick, but she definitely noticed that she was pregnant. That's how they figured that out. and that's why she's being separated by everybody else, or they're taking her wherever they're taking her, and they're going to be paying close attention to her, because for whatever reason, they seem very, very, very worried about this whole situation. Because first of all, they never taught them the concept of sex. This is what I'm talking. This is. We've been getting clues this whole time throughout the show that they don't know. They shouldn't know these things. They shouldn't, because they haven't been taught them, and they haven't seen anybody do them. So somebody has taught them. Who? The AI. It's got to be the AI, the robots. Like even that robot standing next to the director right there. They're all. It's either one AI that controls all the robots, which is that big Mina thing. Because obviously the director, I think, is the closest one that has access and I guess clearance level to talk to Mina. You know what I'm saying? So that I think Mina is just one big AI that controls all the other robots and technology in this place too. And I don't know, it's very questionable to me, because we're getting a lot of clues about ASURA throughout this episode too. And if I had to guess, ASURA has something to do with a lot of this. And I don't know exactly how, but I think what I'm leaning to mostly right now is that ASURA somehow, for some reason, she went in with a purpose in killing herself, obviously. Because she didn't seem remorseful, she didn't seem sad about it, she didn't, like, she knew what she had to do. It's like this was like her purpose, like this was her destiny. And this is exactly why she said goodbye to Kona, because she knows Kona was very fond of her and looked up to her, as most of the other kids in this place did, because obviously ASURA was very special. We don't know exactly why yet, because she looks very different from all the other kids. So did she come up the same way as the other kids, or was she had to have been special? Because obviously she was the first, I think, like, experimented kid on this place, if we had to guess. So I think she has a lot more influence on what is going on in this place, and furthermore, what happened with the Great Disaster and the rest of Takahara Academy, or this heaven place, and just the world. It seems she's got to have more to do with it than we think. You know what I'm saying? After all these clues this episode too, like just like Mimihime being able to see the angel of her. It looks like an angel. It's glowing constantly, and Mimihime's like, oh, it's creepy, but like I'm the only one that can see it. Why is she the only one that can see it? That's weird. And that's exactly where she hung herself, with the wings. And so Kona saw it himself that day, but he still can't see it. Mimihime is the only one that still sees that fucking thing, but she has no idea it's ASURA. She just sees it, and it's like, oh, it's creepy. Like, what the hell? So like, why can she see it? And then again, also, ASURA had a lot of special capabilities. She healed that kid's leg. It was a pretty deep cut, and she healed it pretty quickly, effortlessly. And like I said, she had a purpose in killing herself, and it seems like this was like her fate or destiny. Like she figured out like what she's really supposed to do. So I feel like she found something out on how to start, I don't know, maybe get on the inside of this AI, or you know, or control this place to her liking. Because the AI, whether the main AI is ASURA now, because like I'm saying, like before we got that flashback of ASURA still being alive, the heaven place that we keep on seeing right now with Tokyo being pregnant, like this present heaven place, like Tokyo with short hair, you know, Mimihime with long hair, like every time we see that scenario or that place in that time period, every time we've seen the cameras choose, or like the camera feed chooses what to be shown on the cameras. So like this is how they don't know that Tokyo was going to Kona's room and they were having sex. This is how they don't know that. It's because on the camera feed, they're both in their beds, sleeping like they should be, and both of their doors are closed. Nobody's walking in the hallways. So they're being fed fake fucking footage. We've already known this. And is that the AI? Like Mina? Which the director has the closest access or clearance to? And Mina just isn't telling these humans what they want to know, and the AI has its own agenda? Or is it the same thing, but it's ASURA now? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the AI was still a thing before ASURA killed herself, but maybe just now ASURA has taken over the AI, and that's why the AI has its own agenda and is starting to feed this fake footage to the media room, or the monitor room, and then also, you know, influencing their own agenda in different other ways with the other robots and whatnot, you know, like kind of hinting kids in on like what sex is and, you know, this and that, you know what I'm saying? It seems very, very odd, and that's the only explanation I have. It's either the same AI Mina that is the one that wants to influence their own agenda and teach these kids other things like sex and stuff like that, and, you know, feeding fake footage to the monitor room, or it's ASURA that's taken over the AI and is doing the same thing. Because the only reason why I'm thinking that it has to be with ASURA is because before, when we got that flashback with ASURA still being alive and she was about to say goodbye to Kona, she came into Kona's room, and was it actually her there, or was it like an after image? Because she very quickly like kind of dissipated, and then Kona seems to have an ability to like kind of know like where somebody's at. So he like focuses for a second and he realizes that she's by this balcony down the hall. So that's like his ability, I guess. And so it's like, did she actually come into the room, or was that just like an apparition of herself? And then he figured out where her actual body is. Because if that's the case, then it could have just been the apparition not being picked up on the camera. Or ASURA has something to do with the fucking cameras, bro. Because ASURA was never picked up in Kona's room. We saw Kona, like, compared to like what we've been seeing on the cameras before, where, for example, Tokyo and Kona having sex, we never saw Tokyo get up out of bed. We saw her get out of bed, but on the camera, she's in bed. She goes into the hallway, opens the door. On the camera, no door opens. We go to Kona's room, he's asleep. What's really happening is Kona and Tokyo are getting ready to have sex. So that obviously is all fake footage, but in the flashback where we saw ASURA enter Kona's room, we actually saw Kona get up out of bed and like look like he was about to engage in a conversation. But obviously the monitor people in the monitor room weren't paying attention to it right away because there's so many screens and they were probably looking at some other notes or something. They didn't notice him get up. But very quickly after he gets up and before they even really start talking, the whole monitor room goes black. So that's why I'm convinced ASURA might have something to do with the cameras and the AI separately, or she killed herself in knowing that she could somehow take over the AI in this place, or something like that. That is like my leading like theory, or just what I'm brainstorming and thinking right now. And I could be completely fucking off. But that's just what's striking me funny, and that's all that is playing in my head right now after seeing this episode and what we've learned so far. That's pretty much the basis of the episode, is like we just got a bunch of clues about ASURA, and then like obviously before she hung herself, she had these wings come out of her that were like illuminating, and they had an eye on each wing, and it looks like a bird. Mimihime is able to see it constantly. And then obviously that bird is also kind of clues, or that just that person in general, because there's a drawing of it in this place that Maru and Haruki found. There's a drawing of it on the wall. Very simple stick figure drawing of a person, and it looks like there's wings. It's like a very simple drawing, and they don't really know anything about it yet, but these are clues, and they're finally starting to find some sort of a lead, because they found a paper, which was like a welcoming message from the director, what this place is, and who knows if that's really a fake message and whatnot for, I don't know, random people to try and get their kids to join this academy or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's an actual legit, you know, introduction or welcoming to the place that was written up. But on that sheet, I think there's different addresses and locations of different facilities, as well as the phone number. The phone number obviously no use. There's no grid anymore for internet and phone. But the addresses, that gives them a lead in some way. So they can go check out these other places, and maybe they actually find the place that had these kids there and where it all started. You know what I'm saying? So they actually found some sort of a lead, and they found that through finding the same logo behind the van. Because the reason that was very weird how he moved the van. I caught that right away. I was like, why the fuck did he just do that? Like, that makes no sense. All he was trying to do, he just hid that logo because he already saw it on the wall. He was like, oh, they want information on the logo? They could have just looked there, but let me just hide it real quick. And then, like, I'll just, you know, keep charging him money to tell him stories about, like, bullshit-ass shit. Like, it's just all fake stories, but he was making money off them. So he tells 2 stories, and then finally, you know, Haruki or Kiriko's had enough, and she's like, all right, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're useless. And so the van moves. He moved that van on purpose to hide the info, the logo on that building. That's when they start to search the building, and they find that piece of paper, the welcoming message, and then it also has the addresses of the different locations. So that is an actual good lead for once. And the logo matches up with the logo on the gun. So that logo is from the Heaven Place, and we know that because Kona also got some sort of chill while Tokyo was laying on his lap after they were done, having sex or whatever. And he looked over at her clothes, and it seems that their clothes that's like a pin or a badge that all the students had on their clothes. I think, because I think that's what we were looking at. Like, he looked at over her clothes, and that we saw the logo. So we know for sure now that the logo is from this place. So now they have a pretty good fucking lead, and we might be, I think we're getting closer and closer to them actually finding the exact facility that was the main facility, I guess, where these kids were at. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, we're getting flashes from the, Heaven Place. The past timeline that we keep actually see. Because this episode was also weird because we know for sure that this Heaven Place that we see where these kids are at, Tokyo and Kona and all them, it's in the past. But then we also got a flashback of the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw Kona even younger, we saw Tokyo even younger, and then we saw ASURA actually alive. So that's where it was kind of hard to explain. But the current, the regular timeline that we usually see when we go to the past with Tokyo with short hair and whatnot, the doctor or the new assistant director said everything's fine with her. She doesn't seem to be sick, but they notice that she's pregnant, and they seem to be very worried about this. And maybe for whatever reason, I don't know why this would be such a detrimental case. Maybe because these kids had sex before. They don't even know what would happen, like what is going to come out of that kid, because maybe these kids really come from those man-eater babies that we've seen before. And maybe that's the first iteration of what's started this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the man-eater, like maybe this facility created man-eaters, right? In hopes of creating a superhuman individual where either you do gain a special ability and you grow up to be a dope-ass human that has a special ability, or you succumb to that disease and then you turn into a monster. So I think I'm pretty much leaning on the man-eater baby being the first stage of evolution of this experiment or whatever they were working on. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why they're so worried. It's like, what is she gonna give birth to? Is it gonna be a normal human baby, or is it going to be a man-eater, or is it going to be a man-eater baby? Like, is the evolution process going to work just fine with reproduction? Because this is what I'm talking about. The kids are not supposed to know about sex. We've been getting clues about this the whole time. Whenever the people were looking at that, those two girls that are always kissing each other. How do they know what kissing is? They shouldn't. They don't know anything about it. They weren't taught anything about it. They shouldn't have seen anything about it because they don't have any prior knowledge of it. So they're being exposed and influenced by this AI, which is either straight up just Mina, like she's already had this agenda from the get-go, and the humans have been trusting the robots and the AI too much from the get-go, or ASURA really is in control of everything, and she somehow figured out she can take over the AI, and that is what the AI is now, and that's why there's so much fake footage, and the kids are being influenced by ASURA or the AI, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Bro, this show gets you thinking, bro. This show is so good, dude. This show is a fucking mind fuck, bro. Damn. I just want more, man. I just want more. I could talk about this all fucking day, but I think that pretty much wraps up this episode. What an amazing watch. This is going to be one of those shows that I'm feeling like with Vinland right now, too. I'm going to be sad when this first season ends, bro. I want more of this. Man, so good, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If y'all did, please like that below. Comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Are you agreeing with some of the things that I'm brainstorming? Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell so you know when the next one's dropping. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all be good. Deuces.